Yes. Yes, sir. To receive the blessing. Amen. Yes, ma'am. There is something that's always happened to me. And there's nothing wrong with it. His ability to see things. As I'm like this, like if I'm holding a cup, the inside of the cup will be green. His ability to see things. So you pray to develop the skill, to the gift. Thank you, sir. No worry. About what you program. Good morning. Good morning, friends. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I just quickly want to share this with you this morning, and I want to welcome you to a beautiful Sunday in the year 2026. And this morning I want to provoke you and to challenge you to reason, repositioning your life for harvest in 2026. You see, the word harvest is a powerful metaphor that basically speaks of seasons, talks about preparation, it talks about patience, and above all, it talks about reward, of what you have labored for, what you have been patient about, of your preparation. And that's what harvest is all about. And I want to encourage you as you go on the journey of 2026, that if you are thinking about reposition your life for a very good harvest, which is a very good dividends at the end of the year. The elders say, morning shows the day. What you're going to harvest start from what you plant. And the question is, how do you align your mindset, your actions, your priorities with the actual things that you desire? In other words, with the outcome that you so much desire. If you want a good harvest in 2026, then your mindset matters. Your approach to issues matters. Your priorities matters. So what are your priorities for the year 2026? What actions are you putting into it? And above all, what is your mindset about the whole concepts of harvest? How are you positioning yourself for that harvest? And that's what I want to challenge you for today. that if you are thinking about repositioning your life for harvest, you're technically asking a profound question, which is very essential. How do I align my daily actions? How do I align my mindset? What is my priority? Are those things working in line with what I so much desire that will give me a great result or a great harvest? But I want to use the farming or agricultural principles to address the issue. When a farmer is ready to farm, the first thing he will do is to clear the ground. Then you have the seed. You cannot just throw your seed in an uncultivated ground. The forces in that uncultivated ground will shock your seed if you try to plant it, and that seed will not grow, and that seed will not germinate. And guess what? There will be nothing for you to harvest. So the first golden rule is for you to cultivate the ground, clear the ground before you plant. What farmer does is that they clear the field of weeds, they remove the rocks, they remove the debris. So in other words, in life, you need to identify what's holding you back. What is it that can prevent you from planting? What is it that can prevent you from having a better harvest? Could it be limiting your beliefs? Could it be a toxic relationship? Could it be unproductive habits? Or could it be things that you do that no longer serve you? You see, as you go through the journey of 2026, I want you to take inventory of what works and what doesn't work. Whatever works, you embrace it, you make it to work better. What doesn't work, you need to let it go, or you need to review it and see how you can make it to work. And that when you're doing that, you're clearing the ground. Genesis chapter 1 verse 3. God created the light for enablement, to enable him to see all what he created, if they're actually working or performing the purpose of their creation. So maybe there will be need to work on them, to put them in perspective, to put them in the right position. You cannot continue to walk in darkness and expect not to stumble, and expect not to eat your head on the rock. Number 2, know your season. Every farmer knows the season to plant particular crops, because every harvest has a season. So are you in a season of planting? Season of planting is about learning. It's about building. It's about investing in yourself. It's about cultivating. It's about staying consistent. It's about protecting what you have planted. In other words, you protect your growth. See, let me say this. Understanding where you are will help you to avoid frustration. Understanding where you are will help you to avoid frustration. You see, if you're expecting harvest this season, you need to understand what the season is about. And you need to do the right thing at that season. And you need to know what season are you in. Dry season, rainy season, winter season, summer season. What are the kind of crops or plants you can plant during that period? If you plant a wrong plant or crops at a wrong season, you will get a wrong harvest. So you need to understand your season and you need to know your season. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 to 3 talks about season. Number 3, in repositioning yourself for harvest, plant with intention. Plant with intention. You see, the scripture says in Ecclesiastes 11:4-6, Ecclesiastes 11:4-6, say, whoever watches the wind will not sow, and whoever watches the cloud will not reap. So what seed are you planting right now? What daily choices, conversation, investment of time and energy are you making? Because these are your seeds. These are your seeds. Your time, your investments, your choice, daily choices that you make, your conversation, who do you relate with? These are seeds that you plant in the journey of your life, in the ground of your life of 2026. Look at 2026 as the ground. And you have cultivated the ground and you know the season. Then what are the seeds that you're going to plant right now in this season of 2026? If you want financial abundance, then guess what you need to do? You need to plant the seed of financial literacy, discipline. You need to embrace saving. You need to know what and what you want, and you also need to know the difference between your wants and your needs. If you want meaningful relationship, then plant seed of genuine connection. If you want financial harvest, you need to invest bonds, real estate, property, savings, gold, diamond. There are things that you can invest in, but cars are not one of them. Clothes are not one of them. Shoes are not one of them. Because those are depreciative assets. Invest in what you will be able to have a bountiful harvest. Number 4, repositioning yourself for harvest. And I say, tend your soil, look after your soil. The quality of you looking after your soil really matters. You see, your mindset, your emotional health, your spiritual life, your physical well-being are the soil in which everything will grow. Poor soil produces poor harvest. No matter how good your seeds. So I'm saying to you now, if you do not look after yourself, there will be nothing for you to harvest. If you do not look after the soil will not be able to produce meaningful harvest. And that's why you have fertilizer to your soil, so that it can help your crops to grow. So you need to look after your well-being, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, so that you can produce better. So look after your health. Your health matters. Your health is your life. Number 5, of repositioning yourself for harvest. Be patient with the process. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 6 said, God gave the growth. It is God that gave the growth, but you be patient. So there's always a gap between planting and harvest. So patience is virtue. Just like one of my mother in the told me that she said, like a God, and she said it takes a patient man to ride a donkey. A patient man to ride a donkey. Between your harvest, between your planting and your harvest, what stands in between is patient. You need to be patient. That's always. And this is where most people give up. So because they want immediate result, and the moment you do not see immediate result, you think those things cannot work any longer. Sometimes you need to be patient for you to get a fantastic result. So because when you wait, then you're waiting on the Lord to do what God is able to do. Because you may not see at that moment, but the seed that you planted is doing something underneath the ground. The roots are forming. It's taking shape. There's some crops that their seed is right inside the ground, not the one you see. So that's why you need to know your season. You need to know the crops you are planting, the kind of seed you are planting. So you need to stay consistent. Consistency is the key for great harvest. Is the key to the next harvest. Key to the next harvest. My prayer is that may your harvest be an harvest of abundance. Then number 6, of repositioning yourself for harvest. Protect what is growing. Guard your loins. 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 13. If you leave your life open, the devil will enter. The enemy will come into it. And guess what is going to happen? They're going to eat your crops. There will be nothing for you to harvest. Sometimes in life, you need to set boundaries. Sometimes in life, you need to say no to distractions. Guard your energy and attention. Don't waste your energy on things that is unproductive. Sometimes we fight battle that is not really necessary. You engage in argument that is no. Don't let the enemy come at the middle of the night and start to, uproot what you have planted. All this really matters. So in other words, not everything deserves or your attention that you give so much attention to. Give your attention to your garden. Tender the garden, water the garden. Pray over it, look over it. And by so doing, your harvest will become plentiful. Number 7, repositioning yourself for harvest in 2026. And I say expect and prepare for abundance. Farmers always expect at the time of harvest, they have an expectation. Having done all that I have listed from 1 to 6, they have an expectation. And the Bible also made us to know that the expectation of the righteous shall not be cut short. In 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8, ready to receive the harvest. So my prayer is that you will not labor in vain. At the time of harvest, death will not snatch you away. So this might mean that you need to develop new skills to manage your success. Because that's one of the major problems that a number of people face, that they become stumble. Some people cannot manage success. They can't manage success. That's why you see that some become drug addicts, prostitution, alcoholic, all manners of things start to happen to them because they cannot manage success. So you need to have what it takes to manage success. And if there are certain areas that you cannot handle, you can hire people that can do it for you. It is still part of the process of you managing success. Finally, friends, I want to encourage you that you need to invest into the kingdom business this year. You know, at the end of the day, HRMFC will look for you. Taxman will locate you. So you cannot imagine that you are as a believer, as a Christian, you belong to the church, and the church is financially struggling. And God has been so gracious to you in life, and you're unable to give to your church to promote the kingdom business. You wouldn't become a Christian today if the people in the early church do not give all their time, all their money, all their resources for the kingdom. You see, we read in Acts chapter 12 that Rhoda made a house available for the ministry, for the apostles and disciples, for them to converge in his house, in a house, so that they can hold ministry, can hold meetings, prayer. And the house turned to become the headquarters of the church in Jerusalem. It was owned by Rhoda, and Rhoda was a woman. So don't let the world start to tell you all nonsense things. Imagine if you are a professional, you belong to a professional body. Won't you pay subscriptions to that body? The reason why you pay subscription to the body is for the body to be able with manipulation, not with deceit. You know, but you should do it joyfully, wholeheartedly. And the Lord will reward him. And the Lord will, reward you. You see, the Bible made me to know in 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 1 to 17 that David invested in building a house for God. Even though God said, look, your house is filled with blood. I do not need a house built with blood. But God did something wonderful. Because David made provision available to be able to build a house, the Lord rewarded him with an everlasting dynasty. He established David's throne forever. So I want to tell you, beloved, that repositioning yourself for great harvest involves you giving to the glory of God. The Lord can transform the worst situation to a very good situation. You can turn it from bad to good. His presence in your life can turn your tears to joy. It can turn your sorrow to celebration. So that's why I want to encourage you that you plant with intention. Number 4, tend your soil. Number 5, be patient with the process. Number 6, protect what is growing. Look after it. Number 7, expect and prepare for abundance. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May this season be the best season for you. In Jesus' precious name. God bless you and have a nice Sunday. My name is Dr. Tayo Ogunmefun. Please try to share it on your wall. Try to copy it and send it to people that need to listen to it, people that need to be encouraged. I look forward to hear your testimony. God bless you.